Welcome to Central Asia. You're playing Kok Boru. Hope you get home okay.
Мы сейчас в Казахстане, в столице Казахстана, город Астана. Здесь большое мировое мероприятие, игры кочевых народов. Вот здесь вот вся атмосфера, вот посмотрите, вся такая красота. Много людей приезжает сюда посмотреть на эти игры.
The World Nomad Games is the largest ethno-sports gathering in the world. These are games that are far less apparent to almost all of the Western world. It celebrates sport and competition in a very grassroots way that brings people together to compete in events that you may not find in other parts of the world.
Я Қазақстанда өткен бұл өте қуаныштымын. Біріншіден бұл бүкіл әлемдік дүниежүзілік қауымдастықтар біріктіреді. Мысалы міне сізбен бізді дүниежүзінің халықтардың мәдениетін бір-бірімен таныстырып, әлемге паш етеді. Бұл біз үшін де, Қазақстан үшін де, дүниежүзіне келген елдер үшін де өте маңызды деп ойлаймын.
Kokpar and Kok Boru are pretty similar in a lot of ways. In its most basic form, it's two teams of 4 horsemen. The object of the game is to pick up this goat or this dummy goat from the back of your horse, and you run like hell to the other team's goal and you throw it in their goal. And in Kok Boru, that goal is a basin that's about the size and the dimensions of a hot tub. And you have to throw the dummy goat in there. And for Kokpar, you drop the goat in a circle on the ground. We've been told that the game is 3,000 years old, that there are pictographs in various places in Central Asia that show a horseback game originally played with a wolf, because the herders of Central Asia had sheep and goats. Wolves have been a problem for them for millennia, and they used to run down the wolves on horseback, cut the head off the wolf, and play keep away with it back to camp. So whoever arrived back at camp with the wolf was the winner of the game. And historically, this has been a proving ground for the cavalries of Central Asia. It's been a way to select leaders of nomadic communities and a long-standing test of strength, intelligence, and horsemanship.
It was a part of life, and then it became, well, let's stay in shape, let's find something fun we can do in our part-time, and that is exactly, similar to rodeo. The best cowboys, that were able to rope the calves and drag them back to the fires for brandings, and then it was like, I can do it faster, I can do it better.
We're a pretty motley crew. We come from diverse backgrounds, but we all have an appreciation for the lifestyle of the American West and the idea of the American cowboy. The ideology of the American cowboy is important to us, and that sort of brings us together.
Yep, of course. Oh, you want to wear it, huh? Watch out for lice.
I trained horses professionally before I went back to school for journalism. I've always loved being around horses and riding and the cowboy life, and I would be a competitor and athlete, but because I injured my arm like 3 weeks before the games, I guess I'm the team manager. That's a good way to put it. Lad Howell, co-captain of the team, works for a landscaping company. Scott Zimmerman is in the property management business in Jackson, Wyoming. Brendan Bryant is part of a ministry of a church in Colorado Springs. Canton Voss is a farrier, a horseshoer. He's also a stunt rider for films. Wyatt Mortensen is a stunt rider for films. Nick Willard is a jiu-jitsu and martial arts aficionado, as well as working for a company that produces gear and textiles for the defense industry. Also, Jason Izveta is an insurance claims assessor. It's difficult to connect the dots between us, except for to say that we love traveling to Central Asia. We're willing to put our lives on the line for a game that nobody knows about or cares about, and that we like to do things with horses.
I believe America's participation in these Central Asian traditional games is important because it shows that we care, that we're willing to travel this far and play games that Americans have never partaken in. I think it shows, respect for the Kazakh culture, the Kyrgyz culture, the Central Asian traditions. That's how we will make this world a better place.
The thing about the cowboy hat is that it suggests an identity and a lifestyle and an ideology. And it's like America's most exportable persona, without a doubt. And so they see this, it's relatable, it's understandable, it's palatable. It has to do with the land, with the domestic animals, of value in the pastoral way of life. These are the roots of these people, and the cowboy speaks directly to that. The first game was against the Kazakh team. They just beat up on us. They were trying to send us all home in ambulances, or all the guys home in ambulances. Very rough game, super physical. They never let up. There wasn't a lot of sportsmanship in that, but that's fine. We didn't come here to have anybody hold our hand. We know this. It's international field of competition. So first game, 18-0 against the Kazakh A team, I think it was. And they gave us no quarter.
Маған бұл ойынның 5-ші дүниежүзілік көшпенділер ойынының маңызы өте зор. Біздің еліміздің салт дәстүрін, халқымызды, біздің барлық қонақжайлығымызды барлығын көреді. Бүкіл әлемнің елдері келген ойыншылар, спортсмендер бәрі көреді. Соған адам мен мақтанамын. Өте ұнап тұр, жақсы ұйымдастырылған, көңіл күйіміз жақсы, өте жақсы.
The U.S. has never won in international competition with a full U.S. team. If you call us the Jamaican bobsled team, it's like you guys are trying something that's a stretch for you, but maybe you could do it. But we're actually a little better than the Jamaican bobsled team because we have previous engagements, successful previous engagements under our belt. But we're the amateurs, We don't own the gear. Some of us have pairs of boots and the shin guards and the hats, but we don't have an association. There's nowhere in the U.S. that you can buy a Kok Boru saddle. They don't make them over there. The boots, you don't see anybody wearing these kind of boots in the U.S. This is certainly a Central Asian game. You never really know how someone's going to react to the game until they see it. You can't replicate the feeling of when the horses come together in the scrum because it's like having your leg between two Toyota Camrys in a motor vehicle accident. They come together so hard that they feel like they're made out of cement. It is difficult to put into words why this is such a rich experience. And one part of it is that it's so immersive. You can't really dabble in Kok Boru. You can't go out there and go half speed. You have so much at stake personally that the trade-off is remarkable. It gives you something that you can't get anywhere else in life.
This is something I was meant to do, to get to come to Central Asia, to get to play these important games to the people of Central Asia was one of the callings that I was given. I am very thankful for it. I'm very honored to get to be a part of it. It does become, a little bit of your heart and of your soul we all love horses. We all love to ride horses. The Central Asian cultures are where the domesticated horse began.
The idea of seeing the horizon between the ears of a horse is like pretty intrinsic to the cowboy culture. And certainly for the nomadic heritage of Central Asia, the idea of the horse and the freedom to move and the boundless steppe, the lack of fences, the lack of barriers, this is like the nomadic way. And a lot of us, like our cowboy ideology, is sort of metaphorically the same.
It's really important to us to remain, I would say, as a nomadic people, and to try to bring it back to this like modern life, all this our historical, old, I would say, but still relevant thing. Back to here, to show our like youth people, to young people that we're still alive, we still, do appreciate this stuff, and that we still like do respect our history.
Second game was against the Kazakhs, also a different Kazakh team, and they helped us. It was more like, we're going to beat you, but we're going to help you guys play the game. And this is more productive for us. They were actually handing us the goat. They were helping us to successfully execute some of the maneuvers that are necessary to scoring, to defending, to like playing the game.
It is a game, a sport that if we could get it, a little more introduced to the West, I think a lot of people would play it. It doesn't have to be as brutal as it is on this stage.
There's going to be a lot of people in America that don't like the look of Kok Boru or Kokpar, and they say, like, are you bringing Kokpar to America? Are you bringing Kok Boru to America? And our answer is, it's going to look a hell of a lot different if we do. This is difficult, right? The well-being of the animal, universal principles of kind treatment. Not everybody has the same standards or perception of it as you. And when you start injecting your own personal beliefs onto the way that other people are doing things, you better be ready to have that turned around. And you can feel whatever you want, but you should be respectful of them. Abuse is abuse. This is difficult. There's no black and white here. There's a lot of gray area in here.
If we're not willing to respect each other's cultures, it's, if we don't get along and won't play together, it will make a world that I don't want my children to live in. I don't want my children to think that, any culture is less than or not as good as because what they do we don't find normal, or just because we don't understand their culture doesn't mean that we can say it's not okay.
It's a tough game. I've seen a lot more humans come off of it injured than I have horses. Third game was against the Turks, against the Turkish national team. And this was a real game. When the teams are matched the most equally, it's the most difficult for each team. It's even more difficult than when we lost 18-0. We're out there like floundering. And it's hard, it's demoralizing, but it's not as hard as playing the Turks, who are closer to our level when the fight is on. And this is when it's going to take everything we have. This game was tied at the end of regulation time and went into sudden death overtime. Nobody scored. And then as like a shootout, they do this thing called bullet. In bullet, we lost.
During the games and during the competition, you're at this high, and then it ends, and especially the way it ended yesterday. I don't know necessarily that it's the loss that stings the most. You know, if it's being that close to winning, you know, if it's bringing all these guys this far to have it, you know, go down like that, that makes me feel this way right now. The bonds that I've built with the men that I've traveled with over the years will not be broken. They're some of my best friends, and I didn't meet them till very late in life. It has been an amazing journey that I feel so fortunate to have been on.
I mean, this brings us together in a way that like is like really cool. It makes me emotional right now because you know, it's like these are good friends. This is like a good thing for us, even if everybody else isn't so sure. Yeah. Everybody wants to win. Like, you can't play the game if you don't want to win. We say it's for fun, we're all doing this for fun, but it's not for fun out there. You know, super dangerous. You know, they're bleeding from the head. But this is the mission accomplished, what we did here. 100% mission accomplished. Show up, get on the field, play the game, earn the respect of the guys that play the game, and walk off the field. That's it.